Hello everyone, Professor Thompson here. First off, I want to just welcome everybody to our second 8-week internet course. I hope you're doing well, and I'm glad that the class is underway, and it looks like many of you have begun many of the different assignments in the course. I have just a couple announcements or a couple ideas that I wanted to share today. I'll try and keep this video under 10 minutes. I think the first thing right away that you need to do is familiarize yourself with the course if you haven't done so already. Sometimes when you take an internet course, different professors like to organize things differently. I think right off the bat you'll notice that my course is very flat, which means that you only have to punch one or two buttons in order to get to anything in my class. I think the other thing that you're going to notice after you look at the syllabus and the schedule is that there is clear state of Illinois guidelines that underpin this entire course. And secondly, there are three very clear, very distinct deadlines in this course. So, while you've registered for this internet course because it provides a lot of flexibility, there are also some things that really aren't necessarily easier about the class. And so I think that's one of the misconceptions that sometimes students register for an internet class and they think it's going to be easier in some way. Or I'm just going to register for a speech class and I'm not going to have to give my speeches to an audience. I'm just going to record and that's it. It doesn't really work that way. So you have a maximum amount of flexibility in this class, but it's not necessarily easier. So let's talk about a couple of those things. First and foremost, as I designed the course, I like to keep it pretty simple in the fact that I don't want 20 or 30 different deadlines as we go through the class. So my class is designed in 3 units. You have 3 very distinct due dates. The first due date for everything in Unit 1 is on November 4th. So as you look at the schedule, as you look at the Unit 1 tab on the left-hand side, everything in there, including the chapters, the practice or modules, the quizzes, your first speech, it's all due November 4th. Now, there are some of you who've finished all the chapters, all the modules, all the quizzes so far, and it's only been a couple days into the class, so kudos to you. But there are many of you who need to really kind of get going on that because it's not going to be done in 10 minutes. It's going to take some time. So I really recommend pacing yourself. The first speech is an informative speech. You get to choose the topic. Really pay attention to how you're organizing this message. I've tried to provide some handouts on how to help organize the message. Look at those handouts. I've tried to provide a handout on oral source citations. Look at the handout. I have a tab in the class that gives some example presentations. Look at the examples. So I've tried to set you up for success by giving you resources in the way of handouts and model speeches that you can use to view. The second thing that I think is very important that I have to emphasize when it comes to the presentations is that we have state of Illinois requirements. These are state of Illinois requirements. They are not Professor Thompson requirements. They are not College of DuPage requirements. They are the entire state requirements. And so those 3 criteria, which I cannot bend, I cannot break, are you must speak in front of 8 people, and those 8 people must be 16 years of age or older. You must, when you record your speech in front of those 8 people, submit a 1 solid, unedited recording to be evaluated or graded. Right? So you can't start and stop. You cannot edit your video for the best of the best, or you cannot edit your video to overlay a PowerPoint or anything like that. you are recording your presentation as is in front of 8 or more people that you gather as part of your own audience. And then the third requirement is that you must give that presentation in a public venue. That means you cannot give your speech in your house. Do not give it in your living room, your kitchen, your man cave, your basement. You have to give it somewhere that we would constitute as public. That's why it's called public speaking, a public presentation. There's that word public in it. So that's what the state is looking for. Now that might be a movie theater, it might be a public park, it could be a public outdoor amphitheater, it could be an elementary school classroom, a middle school classroom, a boardroom, a conference room, a library. There's tons of different locations, but do not give it in your house. If you give your presentation in your house, it's an automatic 0. If you do not have 8 or more people watching your speech, it's an automatic 0. If you submit an if you submit an edited video, it's an automatic 0. And these are state of Illinois requirements. So I don't want you coming to that first speech deadline and you're turning in videos claiming that you did not know. And so in this instance, ignorance is not an excuse. You must follow those state of Illinois guidelines. I know that in the past, several students get very frustrated because I'll open their video and I will watch 10 seconds of their video, I will stop it, and I will go back and enter a 0 into the grade book immediately. I don't even need to watch it at that point because you've failed to adhere to the state of Illinois requirements. Again, I cannot alter, I cannot bend those, so please make sure you follow those. You'll want to make sure that you show your audience so I can count your audience. You'll want to make sure that you record your presentation so that you as a speaker are looking at the camera. Sometimes people are recording from the side or recording from behind. Remember that I'm evaluating your words, your body language, the organization of your message, your facial expressions. Again, this is a communication course, so I have to be able to see you as a communicator. Keep that in mind. One of the last things I really want to mention in this course is, contrary to popular opinion, this class is not about perfection. This class is not about meeting every single nitty-gritty aspect of a presentation. To me, this class is about engaging in your material. You have to engage the textbook. You have to read. You've got to engage the idea of the communication discipline. But then secondly, as we get into the presentations, it's about improvement. You're going to give a presentation, and some of you might think it's really easy, and some of you might think it's really hard, and you get really nervous. But that's the starting point. What can you do to improve from your first speech to your last speech? Are you seeing progress in some way? Are you reducing your vocal fillers? Are you not looking at your notes? Remember, this is not a reading class. I don't want you to read your speech to me. That's the fastest way to get your presentation score marked down, is to stand in front of a camera or an audience and read, right? If you wanted to read, take a reading class. This is a speech class. So give your presentation, practice your presentation. Keep that in mind. So I'm looking for improvement. That's what I'm really concerned about. I don't stress and get caught up in the importance of that first grade for that very, very first speech. That first grade is at some point a little bit irrelevant. It's how does that set a bar well, what are you doing and how do you improve from there? So keep that in mind. I'm right around 10 minutes, so I'm going to try and cut this off right now. But welcome to the class. I wish you all the best of luck. If you have questions or concerns, please email me. Let's talk. Let's figure that out. I'm going to try and post a couple videos regularly early here in the semester just to keep you apprised of different announcements, reminders, and so forth. And then later in the semester, I'll pull back and just really expect that those of you who are continuing in the course are maintaining your good work ethic. So have a great day. Welcome to the course, and I look forward to seeing much of your work very soon.